How's it going, everybody? In today's video, we're going to be talking about overall stock market sentiment. And so to do that, we're going to be taking a look at a few different things, starting off with just the basic charts. So right now I have the S&P 500 pulled up on the daily chart, and it's pretty clear to see here that we have been in an uptrend for a very long time. That's no surprise. Ever since November, pretty much the end of October, but really November, all the way to present day, this thing has been in an uptrend, and that's pretty consistent with what we see across all of our major US indices. If I look at the NASDAQ 100, which is a super popular index, we see that as well, pretty much mirroring the S&P 500 here. And the US 30 as well pretty much looks the same. They've all been in an uptrend for several months now, but does our overall market sentiment that we can take a look at on the Edge Finder agree with what the charts are saying? Because oftentimes markets are due for a reversal. These have been trending higher for a very long time. So does the Edge Finder and our market sentiment tools think that it could be due for a reversal? Is it time to maybe get a little bit bearish on indices overall, markets overall? Or are we staying bullish on markets as they continue to, seemingly just move higher and higher into, I believe that some of these, if not all of these, are trading at all-time highs at the moment. It looks like the US 30 is at all-time highs. I believe the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ are all at their all-time highs at the moment, which is pretty impressive that all of these are trading so well right now. But let's go ahead and take a look at the Edge Finder. So I have the put call ratio pulled up right now, and this is one of our newer tools in the Edge Finder, and it's a really interesting one because puts and calls are essentially bullish or bearish bets placed on the stock market, determining, do they think that overall market sentiment is bullish or overall market sentiment is bearish? And we can actually see all the way back to about when this rally started occurring. We can see all the way back to November. So this, huge stock market rally did start a little bit earlier at the beginning of November. We have the end of November here, but they've overall been bullish on the stock market. Investors have for a very long time. So the put call ratio here, if you have never seen this tool before, we have a few other videos on it, but I can show you this right here. So the put call ratio is a measure of investor sentiment in the options market. The measurement is proportional to the amount of total calls and puts purchased in a given time period. If you want to read the rest, you can pause the video and read the rest of this explanation here. But basically, puts are bearish bets and calls are bullish bets. So if there are more puts on the market, then overall market sentiment is bearish. But if there's more calls being put on the market, then overall market sentiment is bullish. Right now, we are just a little bit bullish. In fact, market sentiment was bearish just a few days ago. February 21st and February 22nd, we actually spiked up into the bearish sentiment range before coming back down into the bullish range. And now, look at this. Investors are they're a little bit bullish, but it's pretty close to a neutral bias. What does that mean? Well, investors are seeing that the market has been trading, so well for so long that, again, they may think that this rally is starting to come to a close. That doesn't mean that it's closing off for good, but it may not be the best time to buy into these markets. Another thing that we can check is the AAII Investor Sentiment Survey. We have 4 brand new indicators built for TradingView, introducing the momentum, extension zones, trend projections, and volume spikes indicators. All 4 indicators work on every TradingView chart and time frame. You can easily see shifts in bullish or bearish momentum. Look and see if price is being overbought or oversold, which could cause a quick reversal. Automatically get a trend line that shows the true trend, bullish trend, and bearish trend based on the most recent market data. Get notified instantly of big spikes in volume to help you find breakouts. All 4 are available now at a1trading.com and can get set up in just a few minutes. Go check out our brand new line of TradingView indicators today. which again, very similar to put and call ratios. The AAII Investor Sentiment Survey is a survey done where they ask investors, are they bullish, bearish, or neutral on the stock market, looking at the next 6 months. And this actually comes out on a week by week basis. So whereas put call ratio, we can actually see on a daily basis, which is a really cool thing to see overall investor sentiment on a day-to-day basis. We can also see on a weekly basis where they think it's heading over the next 6 months. Whereas put call ratio doesn't really have a time frame on it. It's just overall bullish or bearish on the market right now. The investor sentiment survey is week by week. These new numbers come out and they're forecasting if they think it's bullish, bearish, or neutral on a 6 month basis. And again, we have a little description right here that if you want to pause the video and read further into that, feel free to do so. But I'll explain a little bit more of what we're looking at here on the AAII Investor Sentiment Survey, because it's not quite as straightforward as the put call ratio. This is very easy to read. You can see, if we're in the blue, then we have bullish sentiment. If we're in the red, we have bearish sentiment. And you can see here, the closer that we are to this neutral line right down the middle, you're either more or less bearish depending on how far or close you are to that neutral line. Whereas AAII Investor Sentiment Survey is taking a look at the bullish reading subtracted by the bearish reading to give you this yellow line, this overall bullish or bearish sentiment over the next 6 months. So we can see that 2 weeks ago, February 5th to February 11th, overall, if you subtract the 49% of investors that were bullish by the 22.6% of investors that were bearish, we overall get a difference of 26.4%, which is fairly significant. That means that, when you overall 26.4% more investors believe that the market sentiment is going to be bullish. Now that dropped last week all the way down to 15.4%. Again, we have been rallying for a really long time, so it's very, common for the market to do a little bit of a pullback, especially when it's been trading this high for this long. Now, that was last week's sentiment, 15.4%, but this week we've actually jumped back up to 18.1%. So I'm very curious to see what investors think next week when the new numbers come out. Will they stay around that 18% level where overall most investors think that the market is going to continue to be bullish? Do we see this drop down to 15% or even lower as this market continues to go higher? Will investors actually lose interest because it's not the right time to buy in? Or will this get even more bullish? Investors see how strong the rally is and they don't think that it's going to stop anytime soon. That is also another very, realistic possibility here. But overall, investors right now are bullish on the market. That's clear to see. The AAII Investor Sentiment Survey shows that this week, investors think that the market is overall bullish. Our put call ratio is again showing that investors are overall bullish. And then just again, taking a look at the charts, if we want to jump back into this really quickly, we see the NASDAQ trading higher. If we go back to the S&P 500, if we take a look at this, again, trading higher. Again, these are the daily charts. So yeah, overall investor sentiment is certainly bullish and it's clear to see why. But is it the right time to buy in? That ultimately is the decision for you. But I do think that, a small pullback is realistic, right? We see that here. Market trades higher and higher and higher. We get these red dots here because of our really helpful trading view indicators that we've put out somewhat recently. You can find them on our website, a1trading.com, if you're interested in that. You can see when these red dots get up here, this is actually our overbought zone. This is getting put on automatically through these trading view indicators that I'm using. This is the extension zones indicator. When a price gets up into this red range, that means that it's overbought and due for a reversal. And we did see that here. These red dots here, not quite as many, wasn't trading in that overbought zone for quite as long. Did have a little bit of a pullback sometime after that. And then we have this one little green candle here that did trade into our overbought zone and then immediately had a small pullback. So I don't know, just something to keep your eye out on. Overall investor sentiment is still bullish, but maybe due for a little bit of a pullback before you decide to jump in and go along with this crazy stock market rally that we've been seeing recently. Again, if you're interested in these trading view indicators or the Edge Finder, you can find that in the links down in the description below or on our website, a1trading.com. And if you want a discount on the Edge Finder, you can use promo code A1YT at checkout for a discount on the Edge Finder. The last thing I'll do is we can actually take a look at the individual scanner pages just to see what the overall Edge Finder thinks about these assets overall. So right now, the Edge Finder has the S&P 500 at a +3 score, which is a positive score, but a neutral score. It is leaning bullish, but we don't give it an official bullish bias because it doesn't quite have the stats to back that up yet. COT data is giving it a negative score, and we have a few fundamentally negative scores here as well. Economy, inflation, and interest rates are not favoring S&P 500 bullishness at the moment. Let's take a look at the NASDAQ, see if we get any different information here. The NASDAQ is actually a +2 score, so again, kind of leaning bullish, but not enough to give us an official bullish bias on the Edge Finder. We see those same things here. COT data is a negative score, as well as these fundamental scores here. And taking a look at the US 30, the US 30, on the other hand, interestingly enough, actually has a negative score. So it's leaning bearish. Now, again, does not have an official bearish bias, but it is leaning bearish. We see COT data is negative. Seasonality is actually negative as well, and so are these fundamental readings here. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Again, if you want to get the Edge Finder for yourself to help with all aspects of your trading, we do fundamentals, technicals, everything in the Edge Finder all in one. There's so much data here to help you with your trading. If you're interested in getting the tool for yourself, you can actually chat with one of our team members on our website, a1trading.com. We have live chats and people in the office ready to help you with any questions that you may have about the product. But if you want to get it for yourself, get it at a discounted price when you use promo code A1YT at checkout. Did you know we do a live trading show Monday through Friday with guests from all over the world? To get notified when we go live, click the bell button next to the subscribe button or check in at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time. We have helpful, free content in the description below and on our website, a1trading.com. Thanks for watching today's video, and we'll see you tomorrow.